Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Go ahead.
Yo, hey, tune in. Woo! We in the building, man.
Once again, it's on.
Episode 20, man. We made it.
Man, listen, episode 20.
Episode 20, man. You already know.
Living that 2020 vision.
Building, man. You know what? Man, listen.
Give it to the early.
Episode 20, man. Nah, I mean,
You already know. Round of applause. Bring it in, baby. Bring it in. Woo!
it feels good.
It feels good.
Word, we
It
here.
feels good.
We here, man.
Like the brother said, man, this is episode 20 here on the Bread Fellows podcast, where it ain't got to be the last supper to break bread. You see, I was in on that one. It ain't got to be the last supper to break bread, man. We doing things a little bit different, but not really. We still coming to y'all with the four-letter word, the L-O-V-E, potting with an M-F in purpose. And this is why you have chosen to pull up with us, man. So like we said again, y'all saw what we did right there, man. That brotherhood, man. Give it to them one more time, man. Show them that handshake. I got you. Pound it. That's love. Give me one more time,
man.
brother free.
Brotherhood.
You know what I mean?
Give
me the acronym right now, man. Who got the acronym? Who got the acronym right now?
Listen,
Who got the acronym right now?
No, it ain't me.
Alright,
The
brotherhood.
B-R-E-A-D. Give it to
I'm
them.
gonna hit him off with it.
Alright.
That's brotherhood. That's righteousness. That's edification. That's advancement. And that's discipline.
See, you got it.
Just slow down.
That's right.
But I'm gonna say for this episode, the D is for discernment.
Woo!
Brothers gotta have better discernment.
Brothers need better discernment. Sisters need better discernment. But brothers, you need better discernment. Brothers, let's look up discernment real quick.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? I don't
Actually,
know.
let that be the word of the day today.
Hold on. Well, maybe we doing a double. We doing a double then. We doing
you
a
already
double.
got one?
Yeah. We already got one. We already
Okay,
got
okay.
one. We already got one. But I can hit them. Let's give them a little. Like I said, episode 20. We giving you a little extra gem.
Right.
A little extra gem.
A double for
Yeah.
episode.
It's 20, I mean, it's episode 2020, so I mean, you might as well give it to him twice.
Hey.
Alright, I'll just give it to you straight away, just right now, just discernment. It says acuteness of judgment and understanding. Ooh.
Which means judging
That
the
is
proper
spiritual.
way with having all the facts correctly given to you to make a judgment on.
The acuteness of it. So you know that joint gotta
That's
be
precise.
proper. It's precise.
Precise.
Yeah.
Right.
Of judgment, which we all about. Judge your neighbor, but do it righteously. And understanding.
Understand first, then rebuke.
Right.
Feel me?
But with what measure are you going to be able to have certain understanding? You feel what I'm saying? So that's just a little tidbit there, So for all of y'all, man, that might have not pulled up with us before, I am Brother Zamar, a.k.a. Spiritual Shooter, Blocka. Tell me who you are to my right.
You got the lion Zion.
That's right. Tell me who you are, baby, to my left.
I am Brother McLovin. Nah, I'm sorry. Brother Free
Brother
Smoke,
love
man.
it. You know the people love it. You know the people love it.
Hey, yo, Drake's album was tough, man. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah, we were listening to it. What's it called?
The Dark Lane tapes.
Yeah,
Dark Lane demo tapes.
Yeah, Dark Lane demo.
He got a tight hoodie on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
He look like him on bad timing.
Yeah.
Drake on bad timing, but Drake will tell you himself, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, that he know people on bad timing, but he himself.
No,
He's
he
not
tell you he
somebody
on
that-
bad timing. You know?
Oh, he tell you he on bad timing
Yeah,
in this album.
Hey, listen, since Scorpion, he been on bad timing.
What's bad timing for Drake though? For Aubrey Graham.
Hey, man, listen.
What's
we,
bad-
hey, we
what's bad
joke
timing?
like it's all sweet, but you see how he had Kanye shook.
Hey, and
He had Kanye shook, scared to come out of his house. He like,
he got XXX Tentacion killed.
Oh man, hold on. We don't know that for sure. We cannot bear false witness on that, brother.
hey, man, but listen.
Hey,
Seen
matter of
very
fact, you're
special.
right. He is a brother because his dad is black. All right.
Right, man. Y'all seen his dad? You seen his father's mustache, man?
Yeah.
That brother,
Right.
You know, he got poor taste in women. He got poor taste in
Like,
women.
dad look like a real
But
life.
he's still Jake.
He's still Jake, man. We
still
still
Jake.
gotta lead with love, man.
Yeah.
But yo, what's his father's name?
Dennis.
Yo, Dennis, man.
Yo, that mustache, bro. Look like Mr. Potato Head, my man.
Nah, yo, Dennis, man, you gotta have better discernment with the women that you choose, man. He loving Caucasian women. Remember
I
that?
thought you was gonna say a suit selection.
Oh, nah, he OG. Nah, he OG.
Nah, he be having them Steve Harvey suits. Look like he going to court. Like,
that's OG status. That's OG, man.
Exactly.
So, like we said, man, this is episode 20, and we are truly grateful.
That's a fact.
We are truly grateful, and we have chosen really, with that gratitude, to make that sort of the theme of this podcast, if you will, just to be able to show y'all brothers and sisters gratitude, but foremost to the one, the singularity, the Most High God, the intelligent designer, the architect.
Right.
Are there any more superlatives?
The infinite mind.
The infinite mind, the omnipotent one,
The Alpha and Omega.
the Alpha and Omega, the Almighty, brother,
Right.
Almighty.
Jesus Christ!
Hey,
That's funny.
We be remiss not to put respect on his name, Yahweh.
Yeah, how? Right. For those that know, know.
Yeah.
And for those that might be watching this and really ain't jacking that particular name, we can have other conversations, man. Y'all still our brothers and y'all still our sisters.
Right. We don't carry the energy where if you call on a different name, the Lord is going to put you to death.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey,
I mean, nah, I'm not gonna say that. But it is important to know who it is that you're praying to.
Absolutely.
And
that's a fact.
that actually goes into the real word of the day. We already said it a ton of times. Grateful. Because I feel like although that's a common, let's say quote unquote commonplace word, you know, it's low on the Scrabble magnitude or scale of difficulty.
yeah, but
people overlook the
it's
significance of it.
great in its quantity.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
In terms of the quality of the word, it's important to understand even its most simplest application. Right? Because a lot of time, brothers and sisters always talking about, oh, 2020 is going to be blessings. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I got much gratitude.
Oh,
But
whoever
do you
said
even know what it
2020
means?
Whoever said 2020 was going to be a bunch of blessings.
They
listen.
sick right now.
Yo, I done see mad posts like
Yo,
that.
word.
Yo, 2020, my year.
Yo, what happened to
It's gonna
2020
be
vision?
lit.
Yeah,
What
what happened to that? You
What
see?
happened to 2020 vision?
You see now, yeah, I'm sorry, your tarot card reader, they led you astray. Them horoscopes
His
that
their
was digging up.
prognosticators.
Yeah, them prognosticators, man.
I'm telling you.
They led y'all astray. Cause y'all had big plans, big boy plans. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday over there. I was around the sister earlier today and she was saying, yo, my birthday gonna be trash, it's gonna be inside. Well, that's what you get for celebrating birthdays in the first place.
And you gotta be grateful. That takes you back to the word.
Exactly.
man.
So let's get the
Be
definition of
grateful.
that. Let's get the definition of that real quick. And it says, warmly or deeply appreciative of kindness or benefits received. Semicolon, thankful. So that begs the question, of whom have you received said gifts
Most
and
High,
benefits?
from the Most High. Your life is a gift, in fact.
Right.
This is what we know. This is what we know. But I feel like the general public, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American household, for whom we are doing this podcast,
Chiefly.
the salt of the earth,
And only.
chiefly,
And only.
they frivolously use that word. They frivolously use that word. Now, the example they give for the example sentence is, I am grateful to you for your help. So you're always going to find that there's going to be a noun that comes after this adjective because there has to be a subject, again, for whom you are receiving said benefits. Let me get even deeper for y'all. I'm going to go to the etymology because y'all know we love the etymology here.
Head him.
So it says, full of gratitude, disposed, which means to be inclined to repay favors bestowed.
So that means you have an initiative and an incentive to repay that which was given unto you, to show your gratitude.
To show your gratitude.
And-
Who you repaying?
And in other words, we have to repay the Most High, which is why we have to follow these laws.
And how do we repay the Most High? With our obedience.
With our obedience, man. Come on. With nothing else, really.
That's it.
With nothing else. How else? We can't write a Hallmark card. You can't send it out. You can't give the Most High a big hug. And celebrating your birthday and putting a IG caption saying, "Oh, I'm thankful and I'm so grateful." That's not doing anything.
Hey,
but serving your own self.
Some people said that he hugged them in their sleep, though.
Yeah, some people feel like he sit beside them on the bed each night and put his arm around them.
Or he whisper in their ear.
Right.
No, that's schizophrenia.
That's schizophrenia. That's your own voice, man. That's your own voice.
Hey, remember we were having that conversation, and I was telling you, the sister was telling me that the Lord be talking to her and all of that, and I had asked her, all right, so what voice does the Lord have when he talks to you? Is it your voice or is it another voice? Like, how does it sound? And she couldn't give me a specific answer.
Right, but she, and even in her confoundness, she still was not trying to admit that perhaps it's just her own person, her own conscience she's speaking to. She still wasn't going to admit that, her own heart. And what do the scriptures say about believing your own heart?
That's not wise. No.
That's not wise, man. It's the most deceitful thing. Mm-hmm. Your own heart. It's deceitful above all wickedness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think that also has to be weighed because brothers often throw that scripture around, but the scriptures also say a man's own mind can tell him more than 10 watchmen.
This is true.
So you have to balance that.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
But I feel like,
if it smell like folly and it feel like folly, it's folly. But if it's righteous and you're using your wisdom to discern what's right or wrong, then.
But what's important to understand with that balance, and that's why you have to have the wisdom. So the points that y'all making are both really good, because in the context, of the scripture that you just referenced, that's talking about seeking counsel, for others. So after you have sought the counsel of wise people, then of course the decision is your own. It would lay then upon your own heart. But in the scripture that we just referenced about the heart being deceitful above all things, who can know it? That's when you try to get into your own bag. Exactly. I feel like you try to get in your own bag without counsel.
Getting counsel basically gives you different scenarios on that situation. So it kind of gives you a platform to build.
Yeah, for sure.
On your own, instead of just relying on yourself and asking your own self, what should I do?
What should I do? You have, that brings me to another scripture. I'm roughly paraphrasing for those who are watching. That's why I have my head covered. I'm roughly paraphrasing. I'm not giving you verbatim scripts. But roughly paraphrasing, it's a scripture in Proverbs that basically says that a man's heart is deep waters or a deep well, but a man of understanding will draw it up, roughly paraphrasing. And to that, to me, that means that your heart can be deceitful. It can be very deceitful. However, your heart can tell you exactly what it is you need to know and can also provide you with the advice you need in that moment. But it takes you having the wisdom and wherewithal to draw up your own self getting in the way and the truth of the Most High that's already instilled within you.
That's the key point. I feel like is the truth, because if you're just out here from what source are you drawing? You know what I mean? You have to be drawing it from the source.
Well, that's why the
wisdom.
scripture says a man of understanding will draw it up, meaning you have to search it out within your own heart.
Exactly.
So
not just you out here and you talking about you feel like the Most High is speaking to you, but you pulling that from your own behind.
Now what I feel is, it's a kind of, when you ever went out and you always got that feeling like, you know what, I should leave.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then something bad happens, you use your wisdom like, you know what, something's not right.
Yeah.
People move funny, the air it just isn't right.
I wouldn't even call that wisdom. I wouldn't even call that wisdom.
That's that gut.
When you have that feeling, that's clairvoyance. Or that's
like intuition or
that's
instinct.
intuition. That's instinct.
But
I wouldn't call it necessarily wisdom.
Where do you believe that intuition comes from?
I would feel like that's something
like a divine thing.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like that's something that the Most High has alighted onto you. You know what I'm saying? Has bestowed upon you.
Like a spider sense.
Yeah.
It's like a spider sense.
Because now we getting into the scripture. But you see, so really what this podcast is, aside from trying to uplift the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American household, is just y'all brothers and sisters being able to join in on our group chat.
Right.
That's really what it is. And as the scriptures go on to say, you know what I mean, a godly man will always have his conversation be with wisdom. So
this is our regular combo.
This be our regular combo.
Stuff,
you know what I mean? This be our regular combos. What was I just about to say? What was we just talking about?
Divine intervention, basically having
Your
that
spidey
instinct, spider sense, on certain situations.
Man, y'all brothers are good, and I'm failing. Because that's why I went into the whole point about us, having people come into our convo, because that's really what it is. Because I was saying we about to really get into the scriptures now, because I was gonna bring out a point. Maybe I'll remember.
Yeah, Lord willing, come back to you.
But I just wanted to close out on this word grateful, and they get even more of a breakdown. It says grateful often expresses the feeling and the readiness to manifest. Listen good. That's your man. What's your man that do the breakdowns? Tribe of Judah.
Oh yeah.
Kind of song. Oh man, what's that brother's name? But he be like, here it is. Listen good.
Kazawan,
brother Kazawan, man.
Kazawan.
Shout out to your brothers.
Shout out Kazawan, man.
Right, man. That brother's he been bringing a lot of people understanding.
Yeah.
So it says grateful often expresses the feeling and the readiness to manifest the feelings by acts.
So you have to act on it to be grateful. You can't just say you're grateful and not act on it.
Exactly.
So gratefulness is a verb, in truth.
Just like love.
Well, it's an adjective.
It's an adjective technically,
because grateful is an adjective, but it expresses because it affords you the opportunity to express.
Action.
Yeah, exactly.
Action, yeah.
And then it closes off by saying, even a long time after the rendering of the favor. So you don't just do it in a sort of a quid pro quo situation. It's something that is long standing. You receive the benefits. You get in your bag of continuous giving back.
I like that. I really like that.
I knew you like. I knew you like. I was saving that. I wasn't gonna reveal it to y'all brothers.
That's something we don't see though, because a person could be grateful one year, and the next year that person's their enemy.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then really, I would look at that person as you were ungrateful, because to the point that the brother was just making with the actual word and what it means, it's a continual thing. Yeah. Because if you are truly grateful,
right,
then that's something that the person who rendered certain said favors to you is going to be able to see perpetually.
Exactly.
And it's a feeling they're going to be able to feel from you.
Right. And it goes on. This is not the conclusion, but again, it gives you the breakdown though, because I want y'all brothers and sisters to really understand how y'all intentionally or unintentionally use this vocabulary, because it's important when y'all trying to illustrate a point or really show others who it is that you are serving. Because again, you already know, if y'all been following this podcast, you either serve the Most High God or you serving Satan.
Period.
That's what it is. I don't care whether you believe in Satan, whether you believe in God. No, because then let's just say for the sake of this conversation, you remove the Most High, which you should never do. But let's just say for the sake of this conversation, then you're serving who? Who would you then be serving? Yourself or some other entity?
When the reality of it is, most people are serving themselves.
When in reality, people are really serving themselves. Whatever serves them, whatever's most beneficial for them.
The crazy thing is that people don't realize there's only so long you can go without paying homage to the Most High. He'll let you ride.
Right, before he touch you.
Yeah, before he touch you, man.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, people don't understand that's why you have to be grateful with this life that you're given, and there's certain things that you have to do to show that appreciation.
Show that gratitude.
Yeah, that gratitude, man.
Yeah, but I really feel like when a lot of people get into that bag of talking about, my God wouldn't do this, my God wouldn't do that. Really, you really talking about yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I've grown to learn, is that when people have that verbiage, my God wouldn't, no, it's only one God. And really, what I have a hard time with is people that say that they believe in the one true living God, the God of the Bible. People
and then don't follow the Bible.
No, or they'll say that their God, who is supposed to be the same God as the God of this said book, is telling them to do things contrary to the God of the book that they claim that they believe in. So it's like, it don't make no sense. Yeah. Well, my God ain't like that.
Yeah.
But I thought your God was the God of this book. Because the God of this book don't condone X, Y, and Z, and you telling me that it's okay, and your God condones. So who is your God?
Right. Exactly. Who is your God?
Your God is yourself.
It's yourself. Really.
And you full of the devil. So
exactly. So you see the carousel. You put yourself on this conveyor belt of just pseudo profoundness, which we hate on this podcast. The pseudo profoundness. So it finishes with saying, thankful. The word thankful refers rather to the immediate acknowledgement of the favor by words.
I think
So
thankful
grateful
is
is-
what people show more
Exactly.
often.
More often, people are in the bag of being thankful because they show it with their words, but in their actions, they fall short.
Slack and remiss.
Slack and remiss with their deeds. Slack and remiss with
Be
their
not
deeds.
hasty with thy tongue, and slack and remiss in thy deeds. So meaning, don't be so quick to tell somebody thank you, and you're so grateful, and you're not showing them the gratitude of the said favor.
Exactly. You appreciate these people. And also, how about the big 4-letter word? Tell them that you love them. That goes into it as well. That's really the umbrella term in all of it. And all these other derivatives like grateful, thankful, all these other adjectives. That really is indicative of the one true love that we should be showing forth to our brothers and sisters to begin with.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So, and speaking with love and all of that, how are my friends doing?
Man.
How my friends doing?
Doing all right.
Episode 20!
Um,
Y'all look, y'all fortunate I don't have one of those
air horn.
you know what I mean? Like, but it come out.
Oh yeah, one of them little party things.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be pagan, bro. You might be going off with that.
Yeah, you might. You right. I just look like this.
It's probably linked to something wicked.
Right.
You have no idea.
Right. So man, so tell us. I'm gonna start right here, man. You guys start over here on this side.
Oh man.
Tell us who you are, Big Free.
Straight to me.
Big
man.
Free.
Oh man, it was a good week, man. You know, definitely positive. Went through some scripts.
I love my brothers.
You know,
Brothers be mad animated. Then when you ask them how they are, you know, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Cool.
yeah. Into some scripts, you know.
Okay.
Um.
I know you was looking for the new spot.
Oh yeah, and that went good. There's something that I found definitely spacious. Can't wait to get in there, put the application in. So I'm just in the waiting process. My baby girl started walking.
Really?
Yeah, the little one started walking.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Before her first birthday, I was
That's crazy.
I was hyped, man. I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh man, it made me cry. I ain't gonna lie. I was just like, oh man, like
that's your baby.
she's she's getting big. She's just walking like,
Oh man, she came quick too. Cause we remember when she was in Ty's stomach.
Word.
For real.
Because
Now you walking.
your other daughter, she running
Yeah,
track.
yeah.
Really? She,
Wow.
she's
Yeah,
She was grown.
Yo, for Feast of Dedication,
Yeah.
nah, she was running laps around that table, yo.
Yeah,
Right, having fun though.
On 2,000%.
She was everywhere.
That was
But
hilarious.
yeah, man, you know, that was dope. So, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, I came out of retirement because everybody just been asking for cuts because their barbers are going.
Oh yeah, this brother laced me up.
Yo,
brother
man, hit
laced
this
me
brother
up,
up in the
man.
DMs,
Brother
yo.
laced me up.
Hit
I
this
ain't
brother
gonna
up in
hold
the DMs, man, for your COVID cut.
Yeah, COVID cut,
COVID
man.
cut.
I was looking homeless, man.
I'm still trying to wait it out, man. I'm still whooping out here. You know
Yo,
what
listen, I
I mean?
look like I needed a hug.
That is
Yeah,
funny.
man. But that's what I've been up to, man. Nothing but positive moves and, just keeping that faith, man. That's all we can do.
That's right. All right, man. Tell us, baby. Tell us. Brothers, you see my man? Your brother got a sponsorship from Hebrew by Nature.
Hebrew by Nature, man. Y'all go shop with them.
Yo,
by Nature, man.
Shout out to them, man. They doing big things over there.
Con.
I think it's HNG_MF on
Yeah.
on
I think it's
Instagram HNG_MF.
right. Check that out on there. They doing big
Yeah,
things
they
with
doing
the
big
apparel,
things, man.
the
Shout out to
righteous
the brother,
apparel.
man. You know, we're gonna keep supporting, man. Anybody in Israel, man, y'all let us know, man. Y'all got a clothing line y'all want us to promote, man. Y'all just hit us, man. We love putting on. We all wearing black on, you know what I'm saying, attire tonight.
Right.
All of
You
us.
know how we do.
We definitely try our best to always have it on, man.
Yeah, so, but yeah, man, this week was cool, man. Of course, the usual 40 hours of
But being in the crib.
Yeah,
just
servitude.
working.
Yeah, and trying to get used to this whole working remotely thing. I'm starting to get a handle on it, I'm starting to get that balance to where you work for a bit, you take a break, you go do something, and you come back to it, take a break. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get a balance in doing that.
Do they give you like a time limit?
Nah, it's pretty unstructured the way I'm doing it. Like I pretty much get my assignments for the week, and I really just try to complete them before the week is up.
Oh, so you get
that's
that. That's
how it
kind of
is?
like when you get a syllabus from at
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
And you try to just do everything one time so you can relax for the rest of the week. Which
Yeah,
is
but
smart.
which was not me. I was waiting until the very last and trying to do
Yeah, because the
Very
gag
good.
is if you finish things early,
They'll give you more work.
yeah, then my boss tends to load you with more.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Of course, look at the
So,
wicked being
so
wicked.
you gotta pre-do it and not submit it.
yeah, no, you just gotta coast. You gotta coast. See, the thing is, you
Okay,
coast. You coast. You do it like really. I just watch on par for how fast everybody else is working. You know, on my team, and I try to work commensurate with them, and you know, make sure I finish things on the same pace as my teammates. Because if you work very fast, like one thing I realized, you got to work smarter, not harder.
Right.
If I'm doing a whole lot for this company and they're not really acknowledging my extra efforts to provide me with a promotion, or even acknowledging my extra work, then why am I
Then why am I doing
killing
it?
myself
Yeah, that's a fact.
to be more productive for this company who don't give a damn about me or anything?
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
Which they don't. And stop thinking that they do just because they pay you on time, just because they give you annual bonuses, or they might give you XYZ perks over here. I get hella perks at my job. These brothers know. I get hella perks at my job. Not necessarily monetary perks, but I get a lot of sort of liberties, if you will. And I still don't trust my employer.
Never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thine enemy. So what do you think some people can do that might actually be stressing during this time? Some people actually haven't been leaving their crib for whatever reason. They still feel it's damn near tough to give somebody a pound or a hug.
No,
or something
that's
like
crazy.
That. What
Listen.
type of like self-improvement tips would you give them that you have stumbled upon yourself
That
or
help
that
with-
you've seen?
With stress?
No, just during this
As far
time,
as this
quarantine,
time?
self-improvement, being in the home.
Listen.
Oh man, listen to jazz. Listen to jazz.
Ooh,
Listen
Jazz
to
and
jazz.
soothing.
I'm gonna tell you,
brother, in this jazz bag. I love
jazz.
jazz.
When you listen to jazz, my favorite jazz artist is Miles Davis.
Ooh,
No.
I'm learning something about this brother here.
Yeah,
I like that.
So with the jazz, man, like you can be a lot. Like one thing I realized, I'm a lot more productive when I have jazz playing versus any other genre of music. For some reason, like you can focus a lot better on jazz. So if you're trying to get things done within your house, even if you just need that calm, because sometimes I just put jazz on just to get that calm. When
Yes.
you feel anxious,
Yes.
put on some good jazz.
Always doing
And
that.
hone in. Jazz is great to listen to if you're reading, you're doing work, even if you're working out. Like, you know, you in here hitting some push-ups and doing your little in-home quarantine workout. Jazz is great to have playing. Like, so jazz is a suggestion. Another suggestion I would add.
But to jazz, I think why you're perhaps very productive in that regard is because, well, I would say this as my reason for jazz is that there aren't any lyrics a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Not
I don't
distracted.
get I don't get
Yeah.
caught up in the lyrics and trying to sing along or whatnot. It's just in the background and it's giving me that solace, if you will, to my spirit.
Yeah, and that's great. Something else that I've implemented, that I've been doing, that I know is really helpful when you just inside and you just want that calm and that peace, is also get you an air purifier that blows essential oils and get you good aromas for in the crib. You know, sometimes I'll put in the essential oils like a lavender.
Bro, I love that lavender. I knew he was
Lavender's-
I knew he was gonna
yo,
say the lavender.
I love lavender.
Lavender, lemongrass, and lang lang are like my favorite scents in an air diffuser and an oil diffuser. So those are great scents to have, and they're very calming.
But what about sage, huh?
Hell no, down with sage burning in your crib, man. Or don't your hodenki kyoms.
Now, if you want to burn sage in your crib, just to burn sage in your crib, then that's not unlawful.
Yeah.
But if you're burning it because you think
You
it
want to
has
get
some
rid of
type
spirits and all that.
Yeah,
spiritual
yeah,
power,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's when you going on.
Right, you walking around trying to cleanse your space and whatnot.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah, 'cause I cleanse
it's a
my
dub
space.
for that.
You better off getting some frankincense and myrrh and just smelling the Lord's aroma. You doing all that.
Yeah, but I mean, you can cleanse your space as far as like when I clean, I feel like my place is not clean until I burn either incense or candle or put a oil diffuser on to have that scent. So I can kind of understand the whole cleansing, but it's not a spiritual cleansing.
It's not spiritual.
It's not
yeah.
spiritual cleansing.
Right.
It's the air.
Because how does a young man cleanse his ways?
By taking heed unto thy word.
Oh, get you some friends that care about righteousness, man. You see how seamless that is, yo? Oh my gosh.
It's real, man. They don't understand.
But maybe get you also some friends that actually care about your well-being. Brothers didn't ask me how I was doing. You see that? Damn. I asked his brother over here. I asked his brother over there.
But you always good, huh?
Right.
Spiritual shoe.
Right, man, listen.
No, but I want to share. I want to share.
I know his bop anyway.
I want to share.
you lit over there anyway.
I know his bop.
Nah, man.
He took over the Alejo title.
Nah, not me, man. Nah,
It's bigger Alejo.
He bigger Alejo, man.
Right, Kapash, I know you ain't talking either.
Word. Don't make me get a drop for you in here,
Hey, let's create a narrative real quick.
Let me get this our narrative back. Nah, that's funny. Narratives, man, will go a long way.
Well, we might as well call ourselves the Alejo Fellows then.
Alejo Fellows, episode 20.
Episode 20, Alejo Fellows.
For those that know, they know. But no, man, mine has really been this new word I'm using, consummate. You know, when you consummate a marriage or something like that, you bring it to perfection or fullness. That's really how I've been feeling, yo. And I just have been in the theme of what we've been saying about being grateful, just as I was telling y'all brothers before, for my youth, for being up. I was working out outside, and I just was going up. Someone that I know, she lives in a walk up. Going up, I got groceries on me, laundry bag or whatnot, going up the stairs, doing squats on the stairs. Like, you got to be really grateful for the things that you have
Things
at your disposal, you know what I'm saying? Especially things that are not necessarily tangible. You know what I mean? You got your health.
Yeah, it's not tangible.
Your mental intelligence. You got me saying? You got these things that are afforded unto you, not by you. You know what I'm saying?
Spiritually sound.
Yeah, my mind. I could tell myself, yo, man, I want to go up these stairs and do X, Y, Z and whatnot, but my body affords me the ability to do so. My vessel has been given the mercy and the grace to be able to be fit and to be able to do them things, man. So I just really been in a bag of being grateful and being around a good company. Again, man, for 2 parts now, I've been saying that company is really what's helping my mental state.
Right.
And you really are able to see, man, who's really
down.
Who's really down? Who's
Right.
really down?
Who gonna hold you down when it all hit the fan?
Yeah. You know,
That's real.
Although you still got to look out for them folks as well,
Yeah.
right? Because they eat with you on occasion
Right.
at the table, and then when
Right.
stuff really hit the fan,
They have adversity.
yeah, the adversity, not
Judas.
It's crickets, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Or they stand on the other side to see what will befall you.
And that's the pure wickedness.
Judas Brutus.
Another Judas. So that actually, I want to say, perhaps is a great segue. What you think into the facts of cap?
Yeah.
The facts of cap early. We're gonna facts of cap early. See y'all 32 minutes in. You know we mean business on episode 20, man. Go ahead, man. Give it to them.
All right, Facts of Cap. Facts of Cap is where, Facts of Cap is our segment where I make a declarative statement. If you agree my statement to be truth, then your vote will be for facts. If you feel that the statement that I make is not true, untrue, or has no validity, then your vote will be for cap. Today's Facts of Cap was actually inspired by a happening that I saw on Twitter.
It happening. What Twitter? What, Black Twitter?
Yeah, Black Twitter.
Black Twitter, because that's really the only Twitter that matters.
That happening about a brother that I wouldn't say I know, but I know of. I know of this brother. I've seen this brother around that has recently fallen into some very harsh allegations, and very serious allegations, and the allegations are of sexual misconduct.
Sexual misconduct.
Yeah,
Which is like where this is going.
And sexual misconduct in 2020 is not as black and white as a lot of people would think. It's not as black and white as it would appear to be even 10 years ago. You feel me? Because there are new terms coming out, new situations coming out. Well, really same situations, but how these situations are classified is completely different now than it was 10 years ago. And I'll give an example. Did y'all see the Centoya Brown Netflix series?
I didn't see the Netflix series. No, I haven't.
But you know about the Centoya Brown play? Yeah. So initially, when this sister, Centoya Brown, y'all go check that out on Netflix. was a young sister from Tennessee, Nashville, who was a prostitute. She was 16 at the time, and she was basically a sex worker. And she went to this white man's house. She got in the car with this white man who had solicited her for sex.
Strike one.
They made an agreement on how much he would pay for sex, and then she agreed that she would go to his home to commence in the act. And this is what happened. So she ends up getting to his home. Allegedly, she's now nervous while she's at his home and felt uncomfortable and was trying to figure out how to get out of there. So as the situation happened, she ended up getting into bed with him. He ended up going to sleep at some point and waking up to being shot in the head, pretty much.
Who was shot in the head?
The dude.
She shot the white man in the head.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, allegedly, she was fearful for her life.
Right.
Being in there with the...
Which I believe. I believe you, Toya Brown.
But why would
Because
you?
I'm fearful every day for my life as well from the so-called Caucasian man that runs around free.
Well,
I'm really not fearful though.
But
But why would you go?
Well,
and
before
put yourself
we
in
get,
that
because we're gonna
position?
be we're gonna spin off. We're gonna spin off.
And that's the problem. It's like there's just certain things people have to be held accountable for.
Yeah.
Why put yourself in that position?
Well, you know, the sister was misled, perhaps, man.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that before we unpack all of that, because that is part of the conversation that I want to have with you brothers. So the Centoya sister shoots the brother in the head.
The Caucasian man.
She shoots the Caucasian man in the head. Now she's looking. She ends up going to prison. She's tried for murder. She's convicted, and she rehabilitates herself while she's incarcerated. And then they revisit the case at an appeal, and now they're looking at the case completely different in 2000. And I guess it was 15 when she was released. They look at the case completely different. At that time, it was like maybe 15 years after she had been incarcerated when they revisit the case. And she was just a prostitute that killed somebody initially. But when they revisited the case, they looked at her as a victim of sex trafficking. So it now changed the complete context of her whole case, and she was released. I said that to say that, things may be one way in one dispensation of time, and then 10 years from later, it's completely different.
Right.
Culture looks at it and processes it completely different. All right, so now that I've set that stage with the brother that I'm talking about, on Black Twitter, I noticed earlier this week, the brother is a well-known party promoter here in New York City. He's recently been brought under fire for sexual misconduct with 20 plus women.
What's his name?
I ain't gonna get a brother's name.
I don't get a brother's name. Why not? The brother's on Twitter. Everybody knows
the brother's name. The brother's name is the brother's name. I ain't gonna get a brother's name.
You don't get the brother's name? His name is already out.
It's irrelevant, but I ain't gonna speak on the man's name.
Okay.
The only way I speak on a man's name is if he was here at the table. But
aren't you speaking on his name right now?
I'm not speaking his name.
Or you speaking on his name?
I'm speaking on the topic.
Okay.
This is different. And I'm speaking on the topic for edification purpose.
Okay.
Because it's not like we gotta get out of the business of just speaking on men's business just to speak on men's business.
Right. For sure, absolutely.
That's
But
chat.
you can use it as an example.
Now we're using it as a learning mechanism.
Gotcha.
All right, so the brother's under fire, and when you see these tweets and these allegations, because really how it came about was there was an anonymous page that started basically leaking all of these different stories of accounts of different women saying X, Y, and Z happened. Now, upon me first reading all these different allegations, I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, don't none of this look like rape. So all I'm hearing people say is rape. But nowhere in any of these accounts do I see any physical force of the brother forcing himself on top of these sisters. So that led me to do a little bit more research and study in these terms that were being thrown around. And one of which that I noticed was the word coercion.
Coercion.
And that's what has prompted today's Facts or Cap. Facts or Cap. Is coercion considered rape?
Is coercion considered rape?
How you understand
Is coercion considered rape? I want to say in the 2020 America, it is considered rape, which is perhaps why this particular brother finds himself in the dire straits that he's in, at this sort of impasse, if you will. Or maybe that's what they're trying to say with the law of the land or whatnot. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but you already know we're going to stand on the Bible for a lot of things and where we get our understanding of the world and how to navigate it. As far as my understanding goes, rape has to do with forcible acts, but if the sister is doing is two things: one, married, and two, crying out for help. And if these two things don't exist, it might not be rape. I know that's a tough pill to swallow. If my understanding is correct, people in the comments, that I'm talking about biblical things, so people that have a biblical understanding of it, y'all could further expound on that for me. But where my understanding lies, that's where it is. And I know in 2020 America, and for a lot of y'all that might be watching the pod right now, that don't sit well with y'all. Because a lot of us put the cape on for our sisters, as we should, but not when it speaks contrary to an understanding that the Bible might have.
See, the thing
So
is,
wait, Salakia. So you saying cap or facts?
So I was saying that that's tough.
Try to dance, nah.
It's tough. It's it's tough because if I'm saying 2020 America, I'm saying that's facts. But if I'm saying the Bible, per my understanding that I just divulged,
Well, I'm gonna reframe it. Do you view coercion as rape?
I feel like if the sister is consensual, if there's a consent, then it's not rape.
Okay.
Even if I coerced you, but not forcible, because you can coerce somebody also mentally.
It's threats and
You know what I'm saying?
and with certain items, basically.
And pull up the word coercion.
Definition of coercion is the practice of persuading someone to do something by using force or threats. Like, I feel like consent is the operative word here.
So you, in your understanding, consent is what separates rape and not rape.
I feel like, yeah, because even when I'm saying that as a man, yes, and then also scripturally as it pertains to the woman crying out.
Yeah.
Because then that actually speaks to her objection or her opposition to what's going on. With that being said, yeah, I feel like, because if the sister, if I entice her or if I coerce her by some sort of mental means and she consents, I feel like I'm now absolved. I should be absolved.
That's what you think?
I feel like I should be absolved from anything that comes after that, because now you're reneging. Or now you've recanted, if you're the woman, you've recanted your consent because perhaps you didn't like what happened afterwards or something like that. And a lot of our brothers are doing time right now for such things.
What about you? How do you think?
With me,
So just to put for the facts of cap, I'm gonna say cap.
I'm gonna say cap.
Final answer. Cap.
So
And I don't care what y'all think about that at all. Y'all can come see me in the comments and we can deal intelligently.
Now repeat it again for me
so
so I can get the real.
Okay.
The real.
Facts or cap? To you, is coercion rape?
I'm gonna go with cap because one, this is before the physical act can even happen, which means you would have a choice to get as far away as you can You know what I mean? It's at the first sign of danger. Once you see that red flag, you're supposed to have the knowledge and wisdom to get away from that. Two, I feel like in today's society, you know, and I've heard it before, women say, you know, they felt like, you know, they had to do it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And that's the problem. You need to get your strength up and your spirit up to say, yo, no, I'm not with it. And that's that. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not go with a guy, you know, because he says, yo, you gotta do it, or he's offering things, because that's showing that you lack in spirit in the first place.
Hey, listen, it was I was having this conversation actually with some sisters, but about a separate scenario, very similar. In this case, it was a 21-year-old brother who was sleeping with a 14-year-old sister, and basically he told the 14-year-old sister. The 14-year-old sister opted to kick it with his brother. She ends up going to his house. They kicking it, and the brother solicits the young sister for sex, and basically tells her, she's like, nah, I don't want to. You and take me home, or something to that extent. And he basically told her, I'm not taking you home until you give me sex. Mm-hmm. And she then had sex with him. She then had sex with she then had sex with him to get the ride home.
Wow.
And you know, I feel like, you know, the sisters, of course, came at me from the standpoint that, you know, the brother's wrong, which I feel like the brother is terrible. He's disgusting for that. You should never even put a sister in that situation where she has to choose between her integrity and her safety. Mm-hmm. Right. You feel me? Like, you should never put her in that place. But at the same time, I hate the fact that we just absolve all responsibility in these cases. You know, like, it has to be accountability on both sides. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
And that's a big word right there, because I feel like people put themselves in situations and they're not being held accountable for it. Mm-hmm. Because now rape, like when you don't have a choice, that right there I can understand.
When the sister is
but when you're actually putting yourself in this situation, you're getting these red flags, you know, I mean, the guy is showing you like, yo, you know what, yo, just come to the crib and yo, I got liquor there, I got this there, and you're going and you're talking about, you know, it's rape. You're feeding into these things that he's offering, which means, okay, if he's a rapist, then what are you? Because you're basically what's the word?
Manipulator?
No.
A charmer, snake charmer?
Nah, it's
a whoremonger.
No, not whoremonger. No, but I guess easily manipulated.
Yeah.
By material things.
You're naive.
Which means, I mean, you
gullible.
You have no self-respect for yourself if you're willing to, give up your dignity for material things to follow a person that you feel like. First of all, if you're not attracted to them, why even? Go with them anyway.
And see, that was my thing. My thing is this.
And one thing, sorry to cut you off. One thing about women that I've heard from young to old, they will not mess with a dude unless they have that attraction to them, unless they see themselves actually in the act of intercourse with that man. Because women are different. Like, they really have to feel you to actually entertain you. Men,
they might entertain you because they bored.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So women are completely different. So the thing is that, well, unless you're a whore or a prostitute,
right? They ain't brothers just a trick.
Then sisters don't care.
He's a client.
Which there's a lot of those out there. Which is why I don't even like entertaining that coercion thing, because there's a lot of prostitutes. Like, even with this shutdown right now.
Yeah, fans only and all.
Yo, fans only pages, sisters in your inbox, like 85 to fuck, 45 to suck.
Oh,
it's real out here.
Yikes.
It's real out here. So you gonna tell me if one of those sisters talk about, oh, I was coerced, and she's promoting this type of content, we're supposed to feel sorry for her?
Hey, listen, that's the America we live in.
That's crazy. And God gives judgment. If you put yourself in certain situations, you will be judged for it. Male or female.
That's for example, like the sister in was it Judges 19?
What?
The sister that was married to the Levite brother, and she went and played the whore.
I want to say either 19 or 9.
No, it's either 19 or 16.
Okay.
But she basically went out and played the whore, and her husband went back to get her, and on their journey back, they ended up getting sieged by some brothers that wished to do them harm, and she ended up getting gang raped and killed, and it was basically like a story of judgment from the Most High, and then chopped up and spread among all the tribes. But you know, looking at this this instance, like the one I was just talking about with the young sister, if you're gonna say, because you know what I was met with when I told her, I'm like, all right, well, what was my first question was, all right, why was the young sister allowed? Why was she at this house to start with? I want to understand that. How did she get there?
Why?
Did she consent to this? Oh, well, she's young. She just went over there. She ain't know no better. He older, and this and that. She too young to know any better. All right. Well, this is how I look at it. If a sister is too young to know any better,
Right.
to make the decision to go to this man's house and to lay up with him and all of this and all of that,
She should be in the house.
then not only should the brother be charged for these actions, but the parents of this daughter should be charged for these actions. And I'm gonna tell you why I say this. Because if you're saying that she's too young to make an intelligible situation, an intelligible decision about who she wishes to lay with, then that means you as a parent are responsible for her in that regard. So if you were not responsible and she ends up in the hands of an older man,
Right.
then you now have did what? You've neglected her. That's now child neglect. And I feel like parents should be charged for this. Because too often it's, I see buck passing.
Right.
You want to pass the buck. Oh, it's this fault, is it fault, is it fault? All right, first and foremost, I put blame first and foremost on the brother and the father of that woman. That's what goes to first. The brother, you shouldn't be preying on no young sister, okay? Now, that's the other thing, too. She's 14, he's 21. It's not an egregious age difference. Now, by American standards, I understand that it is because she's technically considered what we a minor.
Right.
But according to culture, and if you look at other cultures across the earth, it's not an egregious age difference. I don't just look at things through the Eurocentric scope that we get here in America.
Right.
So
Which
understand.
a lot of y'all brothers and sisters do.
Y'all do. Y'all just look at it through the Eurocentric scope the white people gave y'all. We don't do that. But so she's so that it's not egregious necessarily there. However, he put pressure on her, you know what I'm saying, you know, come here, come. She agreed to it. Where was the father? Where was the mother that allowed her to, you know what I'm saying, that was supposed to deter her from going to this man's house?
First of all, how do you not keep tabs on a 14-year-old?
I don't get it.
Well, it might be tough, you know what I'm saying? Who knows really
Nah,
how she
tough.
found herself
Ain't
out
no
there.
tough.
You know, she
And
probably
that's
could have
the
lied.
problem. People are making it tough. It's so simple. It's so simple because that's like, yo, listen, I have 2 daughters right now. There is no way that I'm not going to know their whereabouts. Just like you can check up on your made up character in 2K, or you can check up on that chick that you feeling all the time, and you all up in her inbox, and you all up on Instagram. You can check up on your daughter. That's automatic.
What she is.
People make time for what they care about. You understand what I'm saying? So if you really care about your child, you're gonna be on them.
Yeah.
That's automatic.
You're gonna be on them.
You're gonna be on them.
Yeah.
Especially at that age. What are you doing now?
And how is your daughter, see, because then it goes back to that coercion conversation that we're having. Because now that would be an example of what we would consider coercion. You know, he told her, I'm not going to take you home unless you give me sex.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, she still had a decision to make. She still had a decision to make. Now,
You could have called your parents to come pick you up.
And it was all kind of things, and that's what, but the sisters were saying, no, what about this dude? What about this dude? He's a predator, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. He might be all of those things. But that does not absolve you of any responsibility.
Exactly.
You are still responsible for yourself
Exactly.
and responsible for your own well-being.
Both sides have to be held accountable. And that's the problem. I feel like America lacks accountability. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all
man,
the
let
way.
you do willy-nilly.
All the way.
Willy-nilly, and then you play the victim and everybody's supposed to
Yeah,
feel
and
sorry.
everybody's supposed to feel sorry for you.
But when the scripture says, who will pity a snake charmer?
Yeah.
Exactly. You playing with snakes and,
Who will pity a snake charmer?
and want people to feel sad when the snake bites you.
Exactly.
You playing with the snakes.
So I think that really just goes back to our convo that we had last week, that we got to be, back on the money, make sure our daughters are taken care of, protected, are guarded. But the other thing that goes into this too, because I was having this convo with the sisters, I was telling them like, okay, y'all saying, okay, it's all the brother's fault. Y'all pretty much absolved this young girl of any blame. Y'all absolved her. And at what point do y'all say, okay, I want to phrase this right.
Right. I want to phrase this right.
At what point do you say, like for example, if I know that outside, let me see, how can I give a good example? Okay, if I know that it's freezing outside, it's let's say 20 degrees. I'm not gonna go outside without a coat on, because I might catch a cold.
Yeah.
And if I do catch a cold, I'm not gonna be surprised I caught a cold because I went outside without a coat on. It's just common sense.
Yeah.
It's common sense. We got to get back to common sense. Yes, brothers are sick. There are sick brothers out here.
Which is why your child shouldn't be out here all willy-nilly.
Yeah, but
now,
to
if
that
we
point,
know this, then why have your daughter out on the street? And that's the problem.
there's sick brothers out here. We know that. It is our responsibility as black men to hold one another accountable. We do have to hold one another accountable. But it's also our responsibility as black men to hold y'all accountable. And when I say y'all, I mean black women. My thing is this. If she's 14 years old, at 14 years old, you can still make an intelligible decision. You still have some kind of scope on what's right and what's wrong and what don't sit well. If you as a father allow your daughter the liberty to go out here and end up with a brother who's wrong and predatory, then part of that's on you. Part of that's on you. It's not just all on him. It's not just all on her. Part of it's on you. And also part of it, I'm just going to say, a lot of sisters don't want to jack this. Part of it, she has to take responsibility too. You entertaining this older dude. Because a lot of times what happens is, when I was speaking to the girls, the father will say, you don't need to be messing with older dudes. The grandmother might say, you don't need to be messing with these older dudes. You need to leave these dudes alone. The mother may say, or whomever is your caretaker may tell this young girl not to be doing these things. She goes behind their back and does it anyway.
Yeah.
So you've now removed yourself from the hedge that people have attempted to place around you and done contrary to their own advice. And now you reap bad results and want to play victim. I'm not a fan of that. And that's what I was telling the girls, like, listen, if I'm your father and I'm telling you not to do X, Y, and Z, and you go out here and do it anyway, and something bad happened, then that's not my fault. That's no longer on me. That's not on you. You have to take accountability for that. Because I told you not to do that. If I'm telling you not to do certain things and you go out here and do it and something bad happens, the person who did something bad to you is wrong.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you're not wrong too. Because I already told you what could potentially happen as a result of being out here.
So in saying all that, so would you say, so is coercion rape?
I'm saying cap. I'm saying cap. I'm gonna say cap with y'all brothers. I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna say cap. And I'm gonna say this is why I'm saying coercion is cap, because at the end of the day, you are still left with the decision. You still left with the decision, and at that point, you got multiple decisions. Somebody trying to coerce you into do something like that, and you feel like you're in a threatened situation, you can call the police.
That's a fact.
You can call the cops right then and there.
And one thing is, why do people feel the need to go to social media instead of go to the police first?
And that was my issue with these girls who brought out
What's going
accusations against the
social
the
media
promoter.
is not the police.
It's not the promoter. And then
So it shows me that you're not serious.
it kills your credibility.
Yeah.
When the first place you go, sisters, if you are undergoing any kind of sexual allegation where a brother has mishandled you, which we are totally against here at the Breadfellows Podcast.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
I think that goes without saying. You know, those who know us know we love our sisters.
That's a fact.
But
We love y'all!
Say it with your chest.
we're against that. We completely against any kind of sexual misconduct. What was I saying?
Well, that's what you were saying. I asked you about coercion being rape, and you
Oh yeah. Now, as far as coercion, you still get this. You still get to make the decision whether you want to do something or you don't want to do something. The decision is still being left with you. Okay. Now you have to operate in integrity. That's part of your responsibility as a person. Now with these brothers, with the brother and these sisters coming out, I tell sisters, if you have been mishandled by a brother, the first place you go to report on it should not be social media.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be social media because then it can tarnish the integrity of the investigation. For one, they tell you if there's an ongoing investigation, you're not supposed to talk about certain things when there's an ongoing investigation. So if you're really sincere about bringing a brother to justice for his actions, then your first place you go should not be social media. Okay? Go to the authorities.
But some people might be out here, they want to, let's just say that particular individual has clout on social media. So now they want to remove that fan base, if you will, by slandering them publicly in that regard. So it might be like, yeah, I can go to the authorities, but this person might not be ousted in the manner that I want them to. You know, our brothers and sisters be having a vindictive.
Yeah, but see, then that's a vendetta, and then now you have to really question the intent of your own heart.
But that be justice for people. A lot of times people don't want to. A lot of times it's not enough of justice for people to get locked up.
They want to.
They want to
you.
finish you. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
but listen, when you have that, I'm gonna tell you, when you have that type of mentality where you want certain people to be destroyed for their mishaps, their misstep. Not saying that rape is a misstep. I'm just saying anything in general. I'm not saying rape is a misstep because y'all like to try to take words and twist it. I'm saying with any misstep, if you're the type of person that wants to see the Most High destroy people when they fall short, then when you fall short, the Lord is going to meet you with that same judgment.
That's right. fact.
So remember that.
Because
that's all I'm going to say about
because
that. Because we all fall short. And I always have a side eye for people who are so quick and speedy for wanting the Most High to destroy people and no mercy. You just want the utmost worst thing that you can possibly imagine to happen to somebody.
And then let the Caucasians rock.
That's what I'm saying.
Freely.
That's what I'm saying, because, like, really, you know, because with this going up, you know, I've seen a lot of sisters on the TO talking about this is a broader conversation that needs to be had among black men and da-da-da-da.
What about the white men?
I'm tired of the narrative. I'm tired of the narrative
for
being
hundreds of
painted
years.
that it's us.
It's us.
That it's the black man that's the rapist. No, the first rapist, the biggest rapist on the planet Earth
It's
is
the
so-called
white man. But this is the man that our black women praise sometimes. Not all of them, but most of them praise the white man.
Right.
Know what I mean?
And they be quick to tear down.
Leave Tyrone and get you a Billy.
I
see that all the time.
And also understand though that by saying praise the Caucasian man doesn't necessarily mean that person, the vessel that is the Caucasian man, but doing things that are in alignment with their society. White supremacy is also praising the Caucasian man.
But hey, if they're not praising it in that way, they're also praising them in church because you praise a white Jesus.
Oh yeah, you already know spiritual praise.
But
so either way, this is what they put at the forefront, and they don't realize that the white man is the biggest rapist on the planet. They done raped every culture on this planet. Every culture.
Right.
There's not one woman all these nations that the white man hasn't raped.
Right.
Prove
Right.
me wrong.
Right. So
And not just a physical rape, like intercourse.
Yeah.
He's raped you of
Of
your
everything.
heritage,
Heritage.
of your riches, your language,
everything.
all of that.
Everything.
But see, that's the thing. That's the one issue I have with the current rape culture, because people are ready to cancel this man, cancel. Well, when are we gonna cancel the so-called white man for all his atrocities?
Clap on that.
When we gonna cancel him?
Let's toast to that.
You want to forgive him?
We're gonna toast to that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But that's what I'm saying. But you have
Episode 20.
You have forgiveness. 21. You have forgiveness.
My fault. I was talking about this one. We getting spicy.
Oh,
my
okay.
bad.
Okay.
We're 21 too.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
But you have forgiveness when it comes to him. But with your brother, like R. Kelly, y'all ready to throw him away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We ready to throw them away. But you know, when you look at your dollar bill, that's a rapist, a white rapist on there.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of these dollars
George
that we walk around-
Washington, Benjamin Franklin was the biggest rapist ever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Seriously,
tell-
he would cut black women up in his basement.
So
But
we're
y'all
not
praise that money though, man.
So we're not saying that to say that brothers are absolved of blame when they fall into these situations. We're not saying that. We're saying that it needs to be commensurate and just and balanced all the way around the board when we look at these things. And don't just, sisters, you can't absolve yourself of blame. Like, for example, if I'm your man and I'm telling my woman, hey baby, I don't want you to go to that club, there's some roughnecks in there, brothers be getting a little too sauced in there, you know, then you like to wear these little, no, you're not wearing that little dress,
Little
in that
freakum dresses.
little freakum dress around these drunk Negroes who could potentially harm you in some type of way. You feel me? Then I'm gonna put my freedom at jeopardy because of this situation. No, let's just avoid it. I don't think that's wisdom. Now, if you then circumvent me and go out there anyway, and a brother grab your ass or something, or disrespect you in some type of way, then you disregarded my wisdom. I'm still gonna defend you because I love you and I care for you, but you disregarded my wisdom.
Yeah. And in turn, really, do you love or care for me?
Right, because now
You're
you put
putting
me in a compromised situation.
Exactly. Just because you want to do what you want to do.
Because you wanted to do what you wanted to do. We have to understand that we are responsible for one another. That's black men are responsible for black women, but black women, you have to understand, you're responsible for black men too.
Right.
Understand that.
Right.
Because it's so often, we got to protect our queens, we got to protect the women, yes, we do.
Y'all gotta protect us too.
But y'all got to protect us too. When you look at a chessboard,
Oh, I was about to say
the
The
queen
queen
protects
protects
the king.
Yo,
Right.
toast to that one.
Just know that.
You
That's
understand? Big toast to that.
Episode 20.
So,
now
but
that's facts though.
No, but what I'm saying is, you have to understand that yes, just like we have to protect y'all, y'all got to protect us. So if I'm telling you don't do X, Y, and Z, and I'm saying it from a place of wisdom to protect you and to protect myself from being in a situation, don't go out there and do it. And then when ish hit the fan, now you want to call me and want me to play the Hulk and come in here and save you.
Right.
Like, no, you need to listen to the wisdom. A brother cannot protect you if you don't listen. And half of these sisters that are feeding this whole narrative that this is going on. Now, I'm not saying that brothers ain't out here mishandling sisters sexually. You know, I don't know any brothers. I like to think that the brothers around me ain't doing that. You feel me? I don't
But
know.
brothers are.
But brothers are doing
mishandling.
it. But brothers are doing that. So if we understand that is a problem, if we understand that this is a problem, because a lot of sisters are saying that this is a problem in our culture. So if we understand that brothers have an issue with sexual deviance, then help them. It's your responsibility to help. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna let you. You have to help as well. You can't just say, "Oh, that's not my responsibility, y'all." No. It's your responsibility too. Just like we're responsible for y'all, y'all are responsible for us. And if you know that the brothers are sexual deviants, then don't be wearing a freaking dress. Don't be dressing scantily clad, butt all out, you getting drunk, you know, you filling brothers up and you sending mixed vibes and mixed signals.
And that's what I wanted to get into. Because now, if you want to equal out the playing field, there are sisters that come off like dudes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. This is true story. Even today, I am outside of the store waiting for my bro to come out, right? This girl comes up to me, true story, comes up to me and says, yo, can I play with your penis? Like, drunk and all. Like, yo, can I play with your penis? Like, what's up?
Oh, man.
I'm like, I just started like, I was like, oh, okay. Like, and then tries to grab me. Now, if that was the other way around, and I was the female, and that was a male, I could have pressed charges, right? But the fact that I'm a male and she's doing that,
Yeah.
how do I go about that?
I can't even count how many times I've been in a bar, in a club.
And that's what I'm saying.
And a chick you don't even know come up and grab your penis.
And that's what I'm saying. And that happens. That's
not,
what I'm saying.
Not that we're, and I want to make this very clear, not that we're equalizing, because men and women are not equal on that planet.
Exactly.
Like, I can defend myself from a woman. A woman may not be able to defend herself from a man. We're not saying that, but we're saying that this is a conversation. If we're going to talk about it, then we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it all the way around. We can't just pinpoint because it's a narrative being painted that, oh, the only sexual deviants out here are men. Men are women. A lot of sisters are sexual deviants too.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, like, right now, we have to be accountable across the board.
Right.
That also goes to you sisters who you have a brother you know is got rapey tendencies, and you bring your homegirls around, and brothers too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. So it's accountability across the board.
Y'all seen Players Club?
Because even with the brother, it's even with the brother who the allegations was brought against, the DJ. He knows a lot of very influential women in the city. Because I know I was dating one of the women that he's very close with. He's very close with. So these women, you know how he give it up, but because that's your man's, you're not saying anything. You're not checking it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And that's the other thing. I'm gonna speak directly to brothers. Brothers, if you have a brother around you that you see is operating questionably, then it's your responsibility to check that.
Right.
It's your responsibility to check. That's your man's.
But what about those that might say, yo, listen, man, birds of a feather flock together. You got that particular demon on you. You deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I can't be associated with that because I can't then have people think that I'm now condoning this behavior. So, you know, pack that up, baby. You know what I'm saying? Handle that yourself. I'm still your man, though. I'm still your man.
That ain't real brotherhood. I'm gonna tell you this. Cause see, that's a we live in a society where people are so quick to write off and cancel other people is ridiculous.
Right.
You feel me? That's not the time to cancel or write somebody off. That's when they need you the most.
Exactly.
That's when you really show and prove that you really love somebody. It's when they're down, when they're not looking favorably in the public eye, and you still make it a point to stand beside them and hold them down. Not condone what they did, but stand beside them. There's a difference between standing by somebody and condoning what they did. Exactly. I could be dead ass wrong and my brother stand beside me. Because the scripture says that to continually be around godly men that will grieve with you if you miscarry. Right. Meaning if I fall short, if I go off, I'm going to have a brother who's going to be grieved that I went off, and he's going to help restore me in the spirit of meekness.
Exactly. A mind like your mind.
A mind like my mind, like, bro, he's going to help me get back on the right track. Not who's going to abandon me, write me off, block me, do all the things that I've seen a lot of people do to this brother. Now, if these allegations are true, the brother is dead wrong. Right. He's dead wrong. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Most of the allegations I saw, most of the stories I read, were simply him mistreating sisters. Really, is what I was seeing mostly.
Which he still shouldn't do.
He still shouldn't do it.
Doesn't seem as
but
egregious.
Again, you hold some of the accountability. You want to be around this brother who may be a jackass just off the strength that he got a little clout, he got a little name, he got a little.
What it be.
You want to get around, you want to be in the mix, so you're willing to suffer his bad attitude, him being a hapless person, in order to take advantage of the benefits of being acquainted with him.
You run the risk.
You run the risk.
Rolling the dice.
That you hold some of the accountability too. But see, the thing about it is, in 2020, we so quick to pass the buck instead of saying, okay, I may not have been completely wrong, but where was I wrong?
Yeah.
What did I do that was wrong? How did I contribute to this situation?
That basically goes into, you know, being content with your life. Stop trying to basically be cool with people for what they got. Be grateful for what you got.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're trying to be in the mix. You want to just because he's around these parties, celebrities. You want
to be a part of it.
You want to be a part of it, so it's okay to be mistreated, to be a part
You'll
of it.
suffer being mistreated
Yeah.
for the advantages of being with this brother.
Right.
You'll suffer being mistreated. But then once it's over and everything hits the fan, you want to cry and you want to play the victim. No, sis, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not jacking that. And I know a lot of people, it's not popular to say that. We're not jacking that.
Right.
So
If we're not down with any brother mistreating any sister in any kind of way. Because I'm a proponent for a brother, like, listen, in the event that a sister's by herself and she ain't got nobody, she need help, you automatically become her brother. By
automatic.
default. You
I
become
mean,
her brother.
hey, y'all learned that from us last episode.
Right.
We, like, you know what I mean? This is how we move on an everyday basis. We take care of our women. If we see that they need help in any kind of way, we're always there to help them out. Now I mean, especially when there's dudes that look questionable and look like they don't have any good intentions.
I ain't gonna hold you. We don't, like, when me and the brothers is out, if we out and about, we could be somewhere, we could run across some sisters we don't know. If we see them around questionable brothers, we stop and we pause to assess the situation.
This is real life story stuff right here. Real life story stuff.
That's also what Yahweh Shai, right, what you call Christ, when he was about to be crucified and give up the ghost, he had looked to the disciple and was like, yo, and then he looked into the disciple and his mom was like, yo, listen, now this is your mother and now this is your son, right? Just in my absence now, when there's no lead, there's no head, if you will, the nearest kin with wisdom is going to now be your family and fill that role, which is, a summation of what the brothers are saying right there, yo.
Right, man.
And a lot of that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
A lot of that has to go into speaking about the clout chasing that you was talking about.
It's sickening.
You get into this bag of comparing your life with the life of others, and like what the brother was saying, not being content. So you're willing to, as we all have been saying, roll the dice, run the risk.
Or you even willing to just flat out compromise your own integrity.
Jump out the window.
Period. And that's not nobody's fault. Like, I'm tired of sisters blaming brothers because you compromise your integrity. You compromised it. You said, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get drunk, I'm going to go on stage, I'm going to take my clothes off and I'm going to twerk. But then you want to play the victim because nobody stopped you.
That's crazy.
Not to say that brothers shouldn't stop you, but you still gotta hold some of the accountability.
You got a mind on you. Use it.
You gotta. So we about accountability, and brothers, you are accountable. If your man's is running around moving questionable, you have a responsibility to check him.
Right.
Period.
That's what love is. That's what love is. We say it till we blue in the face. Love is not something that comes in a Hallmark card or you give someone with the gesture of a flower. It's the care for someone's discipline.
Salakia. And checking your brother and, oh, bro, you a wild boy. That's not checking your man. That's not checking your man.
Right. Or not texting him for a week so you put him on a digital timeout or something like that.
That's not checking your man. No, checking your man is like, yo, bro, what's going on? And you get into the crux of it and you give him your real thorough opinion on what's going on according to the scriptures.
But see, so because this is the brother with wisdom, right? As we all here at the Breath Flows podcast, so you say according to the scriptures, but before you said that, you said you give your opinion, and that's where it stops for a lot of brothers and sisters, where people out here just spewing madness and folly with their advice.
That's why your opinion has to be rooted in something.
Your opinion has to be predicated and rooted on something. And by the way, let that, for your greater good and your best interest, that something should be that which is the creator of good and evil. Because that's how you're really going to get the balance. Otherwise, you're weighing your morality upon the whims of the world.
Right, and brothers, stop making deals with these sisters for sex. Stop doing it.
Stop being lame, yo.
Stop saying I'm gonna do this if you give me some behind. Like, stop doing that.
Weasels,
brother.
man.
You're gonna listen. You're gonna find yourself under the jail in 2020.
Under the jail, word.
Stop doing that, brother. Stop soliciting sisters. with quid pro quo situations for sex.
Yeah, you being
stop
predatory.
doing that. Stop doing that. Don't do it at all. Don't even solicit sisters for sex.
Right, that's mad lame. Where has that? When and where has that ever been something acceptable? In the land of lame.
Not to say that brothers don't fall into lust. You know, brothers fall into lust. We understand why brothers fall into lust.
Right.
But that is not an excuse for you to now perpetuate a lifestyle of you creating these deals for you to get behind.
Yeah.
Because you're going to end up finding yourself in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I tell brothers, man, y'all got to be up on game. Like, it's 2020. You better be careful out here.
Word.
You be careful. Like, when I'm at work, man, listen, I don't do nothing extracurricular with none of my coworkers. Period. Just because it's not safe. You feel me? You put yourself at risk when you put yourself out there trying to be thirsty. Don't fraternize at work. That's another thing that I tell brothers. That's something that I am guilty of. I used to do that a lot at my other jobs, and I found myself in situations, you know, as a result of dealing with a sister that I work with. You feel me? We put ourselves in these unnecessary situations to where now you got a conflict that you got to deal with. And sometimes these conflicts can overtake you.
Right. Absolutely. Woo! Brothers was feeling passionate about that just now, right?
Yeah, man.
That hit home.
So that's gonna lead us.
So in closing, I just want to say this.
All right,
just to make
give them the closing, baby.
So
Give
in
them the closing.
we at the Bread Fellows podcast do not condone the mistreatment or abuse of any woman or any brother,
Damn right.
for that matter.
About sisters.
We don't condone it.
About sisters.
Definitely don't.
Of our sisters.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, brother.
That's spicy. I don't know if y'all want to deal with that.
Yeah,
Oh, what about the
well,
Caucasian woman
No,
and the
no.
Arab woman? What about them? What about them? I don't listen. I'm not gonna speak for these brothers. I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't care about no Caucasian woman. I don't care about no Arab woman, and I don't care about all the other nations of people because why should I? And don't give me your opinion on why I should.
Because they never cared about y'all.
And aside from that, we have enough issues going on among our brothers and sisters that we can't afford to be worried about everybody.
Yeah.
We can't afford to.
Come on now.
I ain't gonna front. This is going on because our men are worrying about other races of women in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna hold you, and that's what that's a big problem.
Yeah, we say that for another pod. But in closing, I want them to get this very clear. We don't condone the mistreatment of any sisters in any way. We don't condone the actions of that brother. All we're saying is we got to do a better job of having accountability around the board. We can't say, oh, you decided to go, you went to this man's house 3 a.m. in the morning, 3:30 a.m. in a nightgown and with no underwear on. You know what I'm saying? Drunk as a skunk, and you didn't think that he was gonna try to press you sexually. Like, come on, that's not wisdom, sis.
Right.
That's not what you do. You using no wisdom at all. You at this man's house at 3:30 in the morning, and you think that he ain't think about sex?
Right.
Like, come on, stop it.
Shoot, I remember
Stop
one
it,
time,
relax.
back in my wickedness, that definitely happened. Sister pulled up on me about 4 a.m. We get into the text messages. She pull up in scantily clad, just like that. This is back when I was smoking bud and all of that. And I pull up thinking like, okay, she's here specifically for this reason. And I get up on her, you know what I'm saying? Not forcibly, but I'm on her. She's sort of allowing it to happen. And then she's just like, oh, what you thought I was over here and we was gonna have sex? Yes, this is what I thought.
Yo,
I
listen.
thought that because this is the time. These are these proverbial booty call hours. You pulled up. You know my body. You know my person. I'm not a brother who's trustworthy. This is my wickedness. Trustworthy.
This is
you know
not
what I
the brother right
mean?
now.
Right,
We're not
right.
talking about the brother right now.
Right.
We're talking about in the brother's
Talking about
past.
my past. Right. I'm a brother who doesn't care about righteousness. Does not have a good head on my shoulders. What did you think I wanted at 4 a.m.? You pull up to my crib. We gonna smoke and cherry on top. We have history. You know what I mean?
Oh, so
you
you
already
already done did
Wait,
it.
the history wasn't. I didn't smash, but we had history. We had history. It was an entangled history too. You know what I mean? When she knew I had a lady at the time when I was wilding in my dorm room, it was layers. So you know, don't stop getting into this woe is me bag.
Yeah, and man, listen, I ain't gonna hold you. In a moment of transparency, back in my wickedness, and I tell sisters
transparency.
straight up, like, listen, it's a certain time, like, listen, you already know, you come over here, you already know what's on my mind. I'm gonna just tell you straight.
Right.
So if that ain't what you want, then let me catch you in daylight hours. Because right now I ain't trying to cuddle up and have conversation right now. Sis. That's not what I'm trying to do. This is in my wickedness.
Right,
This is
it
my
is wickedness, man.
Like,
Before the brother was understanding, it was evil by nature.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so I feel like it has to be accountability. We have to, as homeboys and brothers, we gotta hold other brothers accountable.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure it's your responsibility to make sure that sisters is comfortable. If you invite sisters around, you gotta make sure sisters is comfortable. It's a comfortable environment. It's a comfortable atmosphere. You ask them, are you comfortable? Is there anything that I can get you?
Yo, you understand? And that's basic mannerism right there, because certain dudes don't be understanding. You can't come off creepy, like, you know what I mean? You gotta.
No, brothers come off rapey. Brothers straight up come off rapey.
Like, it has to be that natural vibe. First of all, I don't be understanding when dudes.
We knew a brother that had rapey vibes.
Oh.
I know.
But hey, I don't want you to say his name.
I'm not saying he raped anybody, but
hey.
the brother would be in here like he had like real bad lust demon on him.
Can I have some hints?
Remember, he was here one time, and I had called him like, yo, he be like low key, like he be too much over here. And what I got going
on. Oh, yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I said that to say that as brothers, like sometimes you can peep when something ain't all the way right with a brother, when his spirit is not all the way upright as it pertains to sisters. If you peep that in one of your brethren, then you need to pull him to the side and deal with him on that. Because that could cost him and you up to
So what you were saying to finish your point though, you were saying about brothers got to come off and have it be a natural vibe.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, first of all, I've never understood, you know, men forcing themselves on a woman, because it's beautiful when that woman has that same vibe about you.
Yeah, it's reciprocated.
Building, you know what I mean? Like,
it
happens in a natural, flowing way. You know what I mean? Y'all intertwine equally. You understand what I'm saying?
When she's cleaving unto you.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And she wants to.
Exactly. Not you saying, oh, love me, itch.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's crazy. You feel me? So
that's super lame, man. Super lame. You get no points for that, Jake.
Points.
Jake, you get no points for that.
But that brings us.
Oh yeah, we at 1:30, so let's just get.
That brings us to we gotta do. We gotta do better. You know what I mean? So much better. Now we gotta do better. Is a segment where I bring out a problem and then I give a solution with scriptures that can help you understand how to solve that problem in the first place.
Right. As a collective
of people.
Because we got a lot to work on.
Yes, we do.
You know what I wanted to ask? As you cue that up, you know how we are a people that suffer many eons and I want to say how you say it? Centuries of generational curses.
Yeah.
We know this. Do you think that it's possible to put an end or perhaps assuage, to lessen the severity of certain curses? Yes. Or because we are people that are under curses, we should always be under curses? Or can you get in a bag of putting an end to the proverbial carousel for certain curses?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I mean, it tells you that when you really read Leviticus in context. It shows you how there's blessing and cursing in Deuteronomy.
Because some people might not believe that. Some people might not believe that that's something that we can do because we're just under these curses as a people, because it perpetuates. You know what I mean?
You can break curses.
It starts with people changing their mind states.
And so I hate, because the points that these brothers are making are absolutely true. So I hate when I see sometimes, again, y'all gonna learn to either love me or hate me. Like, I just hate pseudo-profoundness and people that professing to be pro-black and they got these shirts that say generational curse breaker and all of that. Y'all seen the Disney movies and all that, man. There's a person that places the curse on said person. There's a person that places a curse on someone. To break that curse, you have to do what that someone who placed the curse says to do in order to break the curse. I hope y'all following me. So why you think in America 2020, you, someone who doesn't know anything about where the curses are coming from,
Could just break
has the module and the methodology to break the curse? You see how asinine and arrogant that is? But that's our people though. That's our people. Think that they got it because they went to school and they got 3 PhDs, and so now they know how to break the cycle. You might be able to know how to do certain derivative means. You might have derivative means, but you don't got the solution.
the end all be all.
The end all be all. Because you don't know where it comes from. You don't know the source. You got to be, in order to fix a light bulb that has been broken, or the fuse went out, you got to know where the fuse box is. You got to know how to work it. You got to know if that is even the problem. You got to find the problem first. You got to know what the problem is. And the problem is not generational curses. That's not the problem. That's a symptom. You feel me?
That's the effect of the problem.
Exactly. Which, so you experience that as there's a disease, and you experience certain symptoms of said disease, but you got to understand how one has contracted said disease.
The cause.
The cause. The source. The cause. You understand what I'm saying? This is why we got to do better. I'm tired of y'all, man. I'm just really tired of y'all thinking that we out here for play. This ain't hip. This ain't out here for play. This is life and death, yo. We doing what we got to do better because we hope that y'all brothers and sisters take heed. Not our words. We bringing out actual scripture here. I don't care what deity you think that you know exists or does not exist. You got to understand that this is wisdom that is higher than yourself. It's this ancient wisdom. It's a get down or lay down, and we are people that have been taking big L's. Big L's.
Perpetually.
And just because now you're able to run to the polls in 2020 and vote for your president, that's not a win. That's not a win. My bad, y'all.
You cool.
I just had to get that off, man. Y'all know I get steamy. You know what I'm saying? So,
blow your smoke. Blow your smoke.
so go ahead, give it to them.
As the We Gotta Do Better, I was gonna go into the whole how, you know, as a people, we feel like everything we see we have to be in competition with. I mean, whether it be people that you work with, or that it could be your neighbor, or people that you can even follow on Instagram or on your Facebook. They can post certain things, and people have the need to want to be like that person.
Right.
You know,
So they're comparing.
Yeah, they're comparing their lives.
Right.
And comparing
Monkey
can cause,
do.
right. And comparing can cause depression within you if you don't have a strong spirit, because
That's
you're gonna feel like,
fact.
why is my life like this? Why I can't be like
Right.
this? Why I can't be like that?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Not knowing what that person did to achieve what they achieved, because some people could have did it, you know, the good way, and some people could have done some grimy things that
The
they will
sleazy
have
way.
to pay for.
Yeah.
I made it cheating.
For having
Was it made in the
You
sleazy way?
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel that, you know, social media has heightened that,
Oh my god.
because in these last past
Clout.
years,
Clout chasing.
in these last past years, this is what has had people depressed, because they're viewing other people's lives and they're like, yo, why is my life not like this? I want this life. I want my life to be perfect. I want to sip Douce every day and have champagne, and I want to drive in a Maserati and have.
I want to be around these stars.
I want to be around
right, this part.
You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, it's funny you say that though, because the brother that I was talking about actually said, you know, a lot of brothers look at my life and, you know, see me, I'm lit, I'm on stage, I'm promoting these big parties. You see all these women, you see the alcohol, you see the cars, you see the money. Man, bro, it ain't worth it, bro. Ain't none of this shit worth it. He said it straight.
That's what he said.
He said it straight. It ain't worth it. Y'all think y'all want to be where I'm at? Man, listen, there's a lot that come with this.
Yeah, a lot behind backdoor
So I'm
dealings.
saying it's a lot of backdoor dealings, and
Dealings,
people
man.
don't understand that. Now I mean, y'all just seeing the fun of it, but y'all don't know what it takes to get there.
And not even,
You know what I mean?
I would say that's one aspect of it, but not even just specifically clout or these riches or so-called wealth, but something on perhaps a much smaller scale, but yet still significant. Like you compare, you compare yourself to certain fathers. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, why does that father get time with his child? You know what I'm saying? So you start to see how little you're able to see your seed, and now that has caused a Great Depression onto you. Or certain mothers might feel that way, or you know, then that can spawn or birth envy.
Exactly.
You know, those
and you gotta step away from that.
Jealousy.
Be humble with your life and keep that faith that things are gonna get better. Be content.
That's right.
So,
be content, because you never know what somebody is really dealing with. Like when we get on these social networks, what we gotta understand is you only looking at the highlight reel.
Yeah.
You're looking at the highlight reel. You're not really looking at people's lives on the day to day.
Right. Posting losses.
No, nobody posts their losses. They always want to look good when the camera shine.
Right.
Nobody's trying to show you the in-depth moments where they done broke down, where they dealing with mental illness, where they fighting demons,
right.
where they having issues with their family, they having marital problems. Nobody's showing you that. They only showing you when they up and they popping bottles and they standing on couches and they visiting islands and they buying shoes and clothes and showing money,
right,
and all the glitz and glam.
And you know that's a fact. Y'all listening, don't try to hang your head or point the finger or something like that at others. And y'all know that's true when y'all take 20 pictures to get just the right picture. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all doing something as small as that to catch the lighting just right, you damn sure ain't gonna be posting all your tears because somebody done left you or something like that, and now you feeling. But some people that do that.
Yeah, I think that's very weird.
Yeah.
People who cry on social media, y'all are serial killers.
I do. Serial killers. That's hilarious.
all right. So I'm gonna bring out.
Bring it out, baby.
You cried on social media before
No. He has the face of. Yeah, absolutely. That's weird.
But so you know, to for the most part, on what I was bringing up on not really idolizing or wanting what other people want,
right, and
not knowing how they got it. I'm gonna bring out some scriptures on that.
Bring it out
so you could better understand. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and 11, and it says, "Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end." So it's telling you, know what I mean, you're not going to know the judgment that person is going to receive. You think it's all sunshine and rainbows now,
right?
Because of what
appears to be going on.
Appears to be going on, but you don't know the backstory to how he got there. He could have killed people. He could have sold his bowels. He could have freaking, scammed his way. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And then you don't know his latter end. You don't know
exactly. You don't know.
That's what it goes into.
His judgment. He could. Listen, there's people that then got rich and they only had a short time to enjoy those riches because of what they did. So you got to understand. And then I'm going to go with Proverbs 23 and 17 to solidify that.
Bring it out.
And it says, "Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long." Which means stop thinking that, envying a sinner is going to make you feel better. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, we have to fear the Most High.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The trust has to be there.
Exactly, because he's going to have that mercy and he's going to get you out of any predicament you're in. You don't have to envy anybody. You understand? So, that's what I wanted to bring out on the,
Woo! Give me some.
Hey, you
already know. Give me some here.
You're right.
So that's episode 20.
Man, that's episode 20.
Yeah, we was low. We was averaging about 2 hours for these past few pause. People was looking at 2 hours. So what we always like to say, man, like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell us how much you hate us, although we hope that you don't. We forgive you anyway. Tell us how much you love us. Just to start the conversation. There's so many people that come into the DMs and they say, "Yo, man, whether I'm jacking what y'all saying or not, y'all brothers have offered so much food for thought. And y'all have opened up particular avenues in my mind, again, whether I agree with you or not, that has led me to perhaps see something in a different light." And that's what we here for. We here, like we say it all the time, we here to pod with a purpose, to uplift our households and not uplift the pockets, or uplift your socioeconomic status. We here to really uplift that which is gonna be everlasting, which is your mind and your spirit, yo. Like that's what we really do this podcast for. So man, for episode 20, y'all bang with us. We appreciate y'all. Y'all ain't got no last minute words of wisdom.
Nah, man. Y'all stay blessed, man. Y'all stay healthy. Y'all stay prayed up, man. One thing that I will say, in these days where you're not going to work, man, make sure you're getting up still early and saying a prayer to the Most High. Make sure you're doing that, because, you know, I found myself getting a little stagnant with that just off the strength that I'm not having to wake up at the same time for work, and that's part of my routine.
And you forget, yeah.
Yeah, but regardless of that being a part of your routine, make sure you send them prayers up to thank the Most High for letting you see another day and really set the tone for how your day is going to be. So,
Oh, you know what I want to say, man? To brothers, this is a podcast we kind of had the onus on brothers. Oftentimes, this is brothers who are in the knowledge and not the knowledge. Oftentimes, we want our wives to be a certain way, hold a certain posture, always coming with the wisdom, you know, whatever she opens her mouth, let it be with the law and in wisdom, and let that woman be a virtuous woman. But I feel like in wanting that from the sister, you are not setting her up for success. And I feel like brothers have to pay better attention to doing the things that are conducive for that, right? That I kind of was meditating on that because I went into Proverbs 31, which talks about the virtuous woman, as we know. And the very last verse, paraphrasing, it talks about give her the fruit of her hands and let her own works praise, or praise her in the gates. So give her the fruit of her hands. You know what I mean? Because we know we in a position as brothers to provide for. So give her the things that she is going to be able to then fashion and wrought into wins, into a home that's going to be full with love. You can't just expect the sister to just one day know what virtuosity is, but you're not setting her up, you're not nourishing her to be able to be the wife that you want her to be. Brothers got to understand, you got to have patience with that sister. Have patience with that sister. You got to know she might be coming from Christianity. She might be coming from Buddhism. She might be coming from Hinduism, Taoism. Who knows? She might be coming from Satanism, voodoo. You know what I mean? Who knows? So we know that this is the truth. This is the knowledge. We know our people need to be jacking what it is the scriptures are saying. But not everybody's going to be able to take to it and embrace it in the same fashion that you might have.
And at the same pace.
And at the same pace. Or literally have the mental capacity to receive it.
Yeah, the cognition.
Yeah, you got to be able to tailor it in a way that they can receive it. You know, it's a lot of things. That's why brother James. Yeah, brother James in chapter 3. To make not many masters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For ye shall receive the greater damnation.
Right. Just understand it. I wanted to put that out there because, you know, so many times we see our brothers that, again, they just want that wife, but brother not doing anything to set up the win.
Right, or to, you know, you talking down on the sister, but really you're not giving her the skills to succeed.
Yeah, and that goes into what we were saying about the kids before. You know, you hitting them and trying to give them the so-called discipline, but just because, I said so. You know, or you like, the Most High says so, and this is how it gotta be. You gotta submit to me because you my wife and all that. But brother, you're not feeding this sister so that she could be the best wife for you.
And you're not even showing her that you have the wisdom and wherewithal to lead her in the right place. Because what I'm seeing more and more with sisters is if you show them that you have the wisdom and the wherewithal to lead them to success, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, what have you, then they're a lot more apt to follow you.
Exactly.
Now, that's still going to come with resistance because our sisters are shaped by the world just like we are.
Right.
But they are a lot more apt to follow your lead, you know?
Exactly. You want to say anything closing out?
Yo, man. Episode 20, man. We did
Episode
it,
20, man.
You
That's a good, y'all, man.
Peace.